up, Spearos? In this video, I'm going to take you through one of my solo shore dives, looking for dog snappers, blow it with the fish I was looking for, but thankfully I was able to redeem myself, go to a super remote zone in the boat, and get another opportunity. Early morning dive at the public zone. I really feel like it's going to be ass. Had to get in the water. You never know what you might find, so just hoping to get lucky. Sunrise kick out. Visibility actually is not as bad as I expected. First drop, found a pretty sweet cave with a swim through. Poke my head in with the flashlight, spotted a couple nice Schoolmasters, and just take out the first one within range. Stuck them with the 110 roller, so cleared the whole fish. I get a little tangled up here, so because I'm solo, I decided to just head straight up. Even though I have plenty of air, I never want to take any unnecessary risk. So I open my bail and bring my gun with me out of the hole. Just breathe up a little bit, then head back down to secure my fish. Thankfully, it was an easy extraction. Just yank him out of that cave. My gun is ballasted so that when the shaft is out, it floats back up to the surface, which always makes things easier during cave diving and extractions. Decent fish to start. One meal for me. Here we have the first dog encounter. It was early morning, so he's still out of his hole completely. I followed him around a bit and saw him enter the cave, so I powered down my gun slightly. I was expecting to find him just sitting in the cave. Yeah, and I end up rushing the shot. Super heartbreaking because I've actually seen this fish for months now. Like, I first saw him in October. I didn't give up hope because I know he lives around here somewhere, so I just keep checking holes with my flashlight. Right here, I lift my head up and actually see him off in the distance checking me out. But he's spooked at this point. Luckily, on the way in, I spot a nice bug from the surface, and he's in a shallow little cave, so I know I'm gonna get him. In this scenario, I just keep my hand in, drive it back until I get a good grip on him. Then I'm able to yank him out of the cave by force. It's a nice male, so he's coming home for dinner. Next, I see a nice Cerro mackerel. I throw my flasher in front of him and just charge him. Boom! Another rushed shot. I decided to head out again the next morning. A couple cudas here interested in my chum, and they start tearing it apart. I watched them feed on the chum for a bit, and then I decided I was going to turn one of them into chum. He was on my spoon a little bit, so I just stay focused, head down, go straight to the bottom, and try to lure him back in. This was a cool drop. The cuda actually made me hunt him. I had to hit the bottom, put my face in the sand, do a bit of dusting, and get him to come just into range. The camera angle doesn't do it justice because I'm watching him this entire time from the top of my eyes. I ended up taking a longer shot, so he still had a lot of energy, and at this point I'm just trying to keep him off the reef so he doesn't tear off or rip my gear. But I'm able to get him in and end up taking him out the next boat trip. The next dive, I saw something I've never seen before. It's a super weird red ball, so I get a little closer to investigate. Once I look at it for a few seconds, I realize It's two stone crabs stuck together mating, but I couldn't tell until I poked it just a tiny bit. This gata was very curious as well. This dive I'm on bottom again, threw my camera on because I saw this cuda and decided to go for a stone shot. No idea how he dodged that. Running it back, looks like I just led him a little too much, aimed at the snout. Here I return to the shallows, do a little bit of hunting for schoolmasters. They can actually be super tricky over here, especially in these public zones that get a lot of pressure from shore divers. These fish know what it's like to be hunted, so it takes a little bit more skill and it's fun to practice. Just scanning around, scratching reef, grunting. This is generally the standard procedure for hunting fish, whether it's these little schoolmasters in the shallows or big fish in the depths. Last few scratches finally seems to get those larger schoolmasters to come in. I was frustrated at that point and just got out, and as you can see, it was a super rough exit, getting out on reef and a lot of waves. Super public spot, so if you dive there, I don't care. A couple days later, went for a boat dive. Wasn't really this rough, but I gotta keep this spot secret, so I'm using an old clip. Started out in blue water, got the chum down, and immediately there's some really nice rainbows coming in. With this huge gun, it was hard to get an angle on this fish. He was so close to me. Eventually, I stick my gun in the direction he's going and pull the trigger. Somehow, even with the headshot and a slip tip, all that twisting tore him off.
Fuck! Big rainbow.
Besides the rainbows and this horse-eyed jack school, there wasn't a whole lot going on in the blue. So we took a long run in the boat in search of a remote zone. We ended up scoring beautiful visibility, super fishy, super remote reef zone. First couple drops, I'm just familiarizing myself with the area, seeing if I could get a big mangrove or schoolmaster. Here I encountered my dream fish. These big Bermuda chubs were all surrounding a very nice sized Cubera snapper. The visibility was so good and he was so far away, I just stare at the reef and hope that he might come back and get curious. But as it often happens with Cuberas, he just disappeared for the rest of the dive. But I head out to a little deeper water and finally get a chance to redeem myself. I randomly threw my flasher and ended up seeing a nice dog snapper coming out of his cave. I can already tell this one's way less skittish than the one I've been dealing with at the public spot. I try to just sink down in front of him without kicking at all. He gave me a perfect shot, but I didn't stone him, so I want to get my hands on that shaft right away, not take any risks of him tearing off. Here I slide the fish to the end of the shaft so it's on the flopper, fully engaged, and then I put my hand on the other side so I can hold it secure. Then I return to the surface with my personal best dog snapper.
Dog! Ha 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 ha!
These dogs, or hokuses, are super underrated in my opinion. Not only do they look cool, but they're very fun to hunt, and the eating quality is amazing.
Yee-hoo! The dog! That dog in him!
It felt so good to finally secure a nice dog snapper, and even better once I started to eat it. I threw together a nice dog sando for myself. Also had it ceviche, soup, panko, everything. Day 3 of eating the dog snapper, new amberjack dog, Cerro mackerel soup. Starting to get a little old, but you could. That's a lot of food. that does it for this video. Stay tuned for the next one where we stone a couple big AJs.